This is Helen from Microsoft Windows Protocol Test Suite team. In this session, we are going to give you a brief overview for our Microsoft Windows Protocol Test Suite and the FileServer Protocol Test Suite. Then, we are going to introduce you the latest updates on GitHub. We have made significant changes to support Test Suite cross-platform. We have also added new test cases for chained compression. Now let's start. Here's the overview for Microsoft Windows Protocol Test Suite and FileServer Test Suite. FileServer Protocol Test Suite is part of the Windows Protocol Test Suite family. A Windows Protocol Test Suite is a set of test cases which is used to evaluate whether a protocol implementation can meet certain interoperability requirements. We originally developed the Windows Protocol Test Suite for our in-house testing for Microsoft Open specifications. We use them to verify Windows behavior. They can also be used to test third-party implementations. We do not cover every protocol requirement. Neither do we certify an implementation, but we hope that they can be used as a useful indication of interoperability. We have developed over 400 Windows Protocol Test Suites, and we open sourced the most popular ones on GitHub since 2016. FileServer Test Suite is one of the most important ones. It covers the following 8 protocols: MS-SMB2, MS-FSRVP, MS-SWN, MS-DFSC, MS-ISVD, MS-SQoS, MS-FSA, and MS-HVIS. For these file sharing protocols, we covered multiple messages in these protocol documents, like negotiate, session setup, tree connect, and disconnect. FileServer Test Suite covers the following features and multiple dialects. For test approach, we developed both traditional and model-based tests. For our traditional tests, we cover basic functionalities and scenarios. We also developed over 2,000 model-based tests generated by 13 models. We have better coverage on parameter combination, message sequence, and negative tests. Here is our FileServer Test Suite infrastructure. We have a Java computer to act as a synthetic client to test against SUT. Our test cases are developed based on Protocol Test Framework, which is based on Visual Studio unit test. Our test cases works with Protocol Adapter, which is based on Protocol SDK and SUT Control Adapter. We have several types of SUT Control Adapter, managed PowerShell and Shell. SUT Control Adapter is used to control the status and make configurations on SUT. Our test cases controls the message sequence and verify the status between Java computer and SUT. Here are 2 typical test environments for our FileServer Test Suite. The first one is FileServer Standard. It has a test driver and a SUT. It can either be workgroup or domain environment. The second one is FileServer Cluster. It has 2 nodes to test against the failover scenario. We also expose CHS for testing. For our IO Lab participants, we have provided several test environments on Azure for your testing, so please feel free to contact us. Now, my team member Huiren will introduce you what's new for our this time's September release.
Hello everyone, I'm Huiren from Microsoft. In the following time, I will first introduce what's new to Windows Protocol Test Suites. Then, there will be a demo to show you these new things step by step. Early this month, we released our latest Windows Protocol Test Suites on GitHub. You could find the link on the slides. The version number is 4.20.9.0. The major version number is increased from 3 to 4 because there are several breaking changes. The table here listed our major changes. First of all, we spent a lot of effort on migrating test suite to .NET Core so that test suites support to run cross-platform. This includes rewriting a lot of code in SDK and adapter. Currently, we enable FileServer and SMBD test suites on .NET Core, which you could download them from GitHub release. For the FileServer, we support testing against new features added in Windows version 2004, which is called chain compression. Also, we added a new test case for Kerberos authentication, and I will introduce the details later. Last, for our guide tool, Protocol Test Manager, we made it support our latest test suites based on .NET Core, and also we've updated the FileServer plugin so it could auto-detect the configuration we updated. I will show you how to use it in the demo later. Let's now look into details. The greatest change of all is we've ported test suites to .NET Core, so it not only can run on Windows but also Linux and Mac OS. There will be a birds of feather session from our team to cover more details on test suite cross-platform on Tuesday. If you are interested in it, don't hesitate attending that session. The next update is focused on new feature of SMB2 called chain compression. We added new tests according to MS SMB2 version 2020-03-04, which covers updates of SMB2 in Windows version 2004. If you wanted to know more details about it, you could refer to the latest MS SMB2 document, which is available on docs.microsoft.com. Since it's an extension to the existing SMB2 compression feature, we added test cases to existing negotiate and compression scenario of FileServer test suites. Also, new configuration items indicating the capability of server-end testing is also added. If you want to run these new tests, don't forget to modify these items according to your own implementation. Otherwise, all these cases will finish as inconclusive. Let's see what these configurations are. The first one is platform, which tells test suite the platform version of your implementation. If you test against Windows, set it to Windows Server v2004 in order to run newly added tests. Otherwise, you should set it to non-Windows. Next one is supported compression algorithm. We added support to the new algorithm called pattern v1. So if your implementation already supports it, don't forget to add it to the list. The last one is a newly added configuration, which tells test suite whether your implementation supports chain compression or not. So if your implementation supports it, set it to true. If you run our new tests from Protocol Test Manager, the FileServer plugin could detect all these updated configuration for you automatically. As you could see on the screenshot, it will show you if your implementation supports the new feature after detection. Also, it will modify the configuration value for you according to the detection result. I will show you the detail in the demo session. Next, I will introduce test sequence of newly added tests for chain compression feature. Here, I choose the BVT case as an example. It verifies if SUT could handle SMB2 read and write messages correctly if they are chain compressed. It covers all the basic scenario of negotiate and compression related to the new chain compression. Now let's look at the test environment. At the left side is the test driver you installed with FileServer test suites. At the right side is your own FileServer to test. First, test driver will establish SMB2 connection with the server. Then it will exchange negotiate messages with chain compression enabled and pattern v1 add to the compression algorithm list. After the test file is created, test driver will send out a write request chain compressed by pattern v1. The data sent out is a region of memory containing the same byte value so that it can be compressed by pattern v1. After that, it will expect server to respond with a successful write response, which indicates whether the file server could handle chain compressed message. In order to test whether the server could produce chain compressed message correctly, test driver will send a read request to read the data just written with compression flag set. If the server works as expected, it will return a read response which is chain compressed. The test case then will also verify the data readout. If all could parse, the basic chain compression scenario is verified. Besides chain compression, we also added a new test case for Kerberos authentication. This test case will cover the scenario where there is special characters inside the username during Kerberos authentication. If you want to customize the usernames, you could change the value of special username in the PTF config files for auth. It is possible to specify multiple usernames. You need to separate them by semicolons. That's all of what's new part of FileServer test suites. Now it comes to the demo part. First, I will show you how to run Protocol Test Manager with the latest test suites based on .NET Core. Then I will configure and run the new compression tests. Here is a Windows VM I installed with the latest Protocol Test Manager, and also I downloaded the latest released FileServer test suites and extracted to desktop here. First, I want to show you how to specify the FileServer test suite based on .NET Core in Protocol Test Manager. Let's open the Protocol Test Manager. On the welcome screen, you could see that there is a new column named Select added for each test suite. If you want to specify the install location for FileServer, let's click this new link. And you will see a new dialog. It will prompt you to customize the test suite configuration. There will be a group of radio buttons let you to choose the type of test suites. Since I did not install any MSI installer of test suites, the first option is Great, and the second option is let you to choose the root path of the extracted archive of test suites. Let me specify the path. It's on the desktop. It will detect the version in the path you specified. If it's a correct path, it will detect out the correct version. You could see that it's 4.20.9.0. Then I could finish this. Now you could see the configuration wizard link because the file server's location is successfully specified. Now let's start to configure file server test suites. First, it will show you the guide of FileServer test suite and also the deployment guide. If you finish reading it, just click Next. Then it will show you two methods which you could use to configure the test suite. Here, for the demo, I will show you how to run auto detection. If you clicked it, it will show you a warning because run auto detection will send message to your server, so your server state might be changed. In the auto detection tab, you need to specify the argument of the server you want to test. For example, you need to give the target share. Here, I just give it directly the domain. Since it has no domain, I just leave it blank. Also, the authentication, I'll choose NTLM. Then click the detect. Oh, you will find it will do all these auto detection steps for you. After it finishes, you just click next. In the detection result page, it will show you whether your server supports any SMP2 feature. Since I detected against Windows Server version 2004, in the SMP2 compression feature list, you could see that the new pattern v1 compression algorithm is supported, and also the feature chain compression is also supported. Let's go to the next step. In this step, you could choose the test cases you want to run by different test categories. In the middle panel, there are several groups you could use to do filter. For example, you could either choose the priority like BVT and also the SMP dialect you want to run. In this demo, I only want to run new SMP2 compression test, so I just choose BVT and compression. In this configure test case page, it will show you all the configuration items you could use to configure test suites. In the Common tab, you could find that some configuration items are highlighted. It's just because the auto detection feature has modified the value for you according to the detection result. After that, it will let you choose the test adapter you want to use. We could just use the default value. Then come to the last step. In this Run Select Test Cases step, you could either run all the test cases by click the Run All, or you select one test cases, then click the Run Select Cases. Here, I just want to run the test cases I introduced in previous session. Run it. The .NET process will start and test will be launched. After finish, it will show that these test cases has passed. And if you click the test case name, in the right panel, it will show you the detail log. You could check the detail if you want. That's all of my demo session. Thank you.